Hello, my name is Scott DeLisi, and I have the honor to be the United States Ambassador to Uganda, the beautiful pearl of Africa. The relationship between our two countries is deep, rich, and of long-standing value to the people of both our nations. One key component of our friendship has been the presence in Uganda of the United States Peace Corps and its dedicated and selfless volunteers. And I'm delighted to note that this month marks the 50th anniversary of the Peace Corps' partnership with the people of Uganda. It was in 1960 that President John F. Kennedy laid the groundwork for the Peace Corps during an impromptu late-night address to students at the University of Michigan. At around 2 a.m. on October 14th, President Kennedy had returned from the campaign trail to find hundreds of students gathered waiting for him. As they talked, he challenged them and called on them to give more of themselves in service to others. He reminded them of the many opportunities that they had been given as young Americans, and it was time, he suggested, to give something back to the world. I think Americans are willing to contribute, he said, but that effort must be far greater than we have ever made in the past. That exchange led to the birth of the Peace Corps, and for over 50 years, generation after generation of volunteers has stepped forward to give life to President Kennedy's vision. Talented men and women whose dedication to progress and to people engagement serves as an inspiration to new generations of volunteers waiting to carry on the mission. Since its inception, Peace Corps volunteers have lived and worked all over the world. And although the countries in which our volunteers serve have changed over time, the Peace Corps mission remains the same: to provide assistance to communities at the grassroots level, and in the process to foster peace and friendship between Americans and the citizens of foreign countries. 50 years ago, Peace Corps volunteers set foot in Uganda for the first time. The first group was made up of 38 volunteers, teaching English, mathematics, science, and life skills. Since that day in 1964, over 1,400 Peace Corps volunteers have served in Uganda's schools and in your communities, making a difference in people's lives. They've worked in agriculture and in fisheries. They've launched community health programs, supported small business development, encouraged environmental protection, and engaged in myriad other areas where we in the government of Uganda believe their skills can make a difference for Uganda's citizens. Our volunteers in Uganda, past and present, are indeed the embodiment of the vision President Kennedy first voiced during that late-night speech 54 years ago. A vision of Americans giving of themselves, making a difference, and touching the lives of ordinary citizens. And they join a long tradition of more than 200,000 volunteers worldwide who have dedicated themselves to living and working side by side with people and communities all over the globe. I've worked with Peace Corps volunteers in Sri Lanka, in Botswana, in Nepal, and now in Uganda. And I have found that although the setting may change, one thing remains constant: a shared commitment by all our volunteers to help improve our world, one child, one school, one home, and one village at a time. Together we have made a difference in Uganda. Together we are building a better future. And together let's celebrate 50 years of friendship and partnership between the Peace Corps and the people of Uganda. Happy 50th anniversary, Peace Corps Uganda, and thank you to our wonderful volunteers for all that you do.
Peace Corps!